Hi, I'm Roberto Leal.
Hi, I'm Diana,
And this is how we live our work.
Hello, how are you? Long
Very
time
good.
no see.
Long time no see.
Welcome to Living the Work. We tried doing this the other time, but it was in Spanish, and I believe we did it in a whole different setup. Now we have upgraded in so many areas, not only that. So I'm going to just jump into the questions. Thank you for being here. And I hope you think about the answers thoroughly. Okay?
Okay.
So, first things first, I mean, I know who you are, but many people don't know who you are. So, if you would like to say a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I'm Roberto Leal. I'm another owner of Exclusive Iron Doors. I also manage a factory in Mexico. And I'm a dad of three beautiful boys, very energetic personalities. I'm a husband of another energetic personality. Um, and aside of my passion in business, I enjoy with being with my family, and that's in general, a short version of who we are. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, who I am actually.
Yeah. Well, we are. Yeah. This is a collaboration episode. So I'm gonna introduce myself too. I'm Diana. I'm a co-owner at Exclusive Iron Doors. We've been working together already for almost 10 years, if not a little bit more. I am a mom. I am a wife. I am a fitness lover. I enjoy a lot of things like coffee and and the exercise. I love how we have grown together into this big family, because it's a big family of five, and how we have also managed to grow together into the business and into our personal lives. So yeah, I think it's correct to say this is who we are, because we are already like a blend. Let's call it like that. We work together almost like 24/7 because we're at the business, and then we are, collaborate. We do a collaboration at home, of course, too, and we don't get tired of being together, and that's the way I think it's
I hope
supposed
you
to be,
don't
right?
get tired of being together for sure.
I hope so. That's good. Okay, so the next question would be, how would you describe your experience working with me as a partner? A lot of people, I think, ask us that question on like, how is it working with your wife or your partner? Like, is it hard? How do you do it? What would you say?
Yeah, like you said, I think it's a question that most of our friends and people that we do business with, it's like, what do you mean you work with your wife, or what do you mean you work with your husband, right? But I think it's not an easy process. I've heard it's not something that usually works, but with specifically with us, I think that since we did this setup, we started by understanding, the rules, setting expectations, setting what it could happen if, it went wrong. I think it was, very clear from the very beginning, and understanding that, of course I was afraid, of course you were afraid, but at the same time we were challenging ourselves to do it. And at the end we ended up really taking care of our own, areas. You really focus it on the website, developing designs, and I was really focusing on operation, production. And I still remember, 12 years, 13 years ago, where we were both in the same office, looking at each other. And then sometimes at the end of the day, we will ask, I'll ask you, how was your day, right? So, I think it's not just that it's easy to work with your partner, but depends on personalities, activities, how busy you can make it easy or hard, right? So, in a short version, I think that's what is making our journey easy, because you have your own stuff to take care of. I have my own stuff to take care of. They blend, yes, but we get to manage always, like, you stay on your line, I'm gonna stay on mine, and we always kind of make it work, right? So that's how I see it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call it easy, let's say it like that, but I think we've made it look easy or seem easier because of a lot of things. I think that we are both really intense and really passionate about what we do. And like you're saying, like when we started, we literally said, if this doesn't work, we'll just like find our own ways. But first things first is the marriage and us as a couple, us as a family. So that goes first, and then second part will be our office work. So knowing that, you have that calmness to start with, and then we started kind of like finding our own way into the business, like you said. So I think a lot of what has made it work too is like that we always respected each other, and we always, set up some boundaries without even saying them as much. Like, I would respect your areas of work, you would respect my areas of work. I think also it's super important to like look up to each other. Like, I admire you as a person, I admire you as an owner and what you do, and I always look to learn things from what you do. And I think you have learned maybe a couple of things from me too, I hope.
A lot, of course.
But so that way it makes it more of a collaboration than a competition or an ego or an, who is the boss or whatever. It's more of like we're both going towards the same goals. And
Yeah.
so therefore everybody does what their skill set, sets us to do. So I think it's definitely doable. I would encourage it if you're in that situation. Like we always say, try it. And then if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but you at least tried it, and then you can kind of like grow from it, because there's going to be challenges, there's going to be situations and uncomfortable conversations, but then again, you grow from those conversations and you grow from those situations, and that's how it also reflects on your home and your family. I think like if the kids, now that we're parents, they see us working together, they see how we work as a couple, and then they kind of analyze all of that, don't you think? Like they see not only our life as a couple, but they see what we do too, at work.
Sure. No, yeah. And I think another big factor is that, you have a set of skills that I lack of, and probably vice versa. So like you said, you excel on other things, I excel on other things, and it's just a compliment. I mean, it's a team building up, the business, and partnering up as a family as well, and teaming up to take care of the business, take care of the kids, take care of personal stuff. And I think you just build up a great setup where, each one has individual, responsibilities.
Yeah.
And they get to be achieved because, they concentrate on your responsibility, my responsibility, mutual responsibility, but at the same time, we're doing it together. So.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. So what would you say it's possible? I mean, would you say it is possible to find balance between work and life? Because, as business owners and intense people, like we said, and as collaborators, we know that it kind of blends in. So it comes a time when you don't even know in which way you are, because you're working at the office, you're working at home, and then you're being a parent at different kinds of hours. You're being a couple at different kinds of times of the day. So it all blends in. So how would you say it's possible, and how have you managed to play with it? Let's call it like that.
Okay, well, that's a difficult question for me. The reason being is I love businesses in general. I get to focus most of my time on, the business. And I think that that's just part of, your involvement with me, because you're a very balanced, woman. And at the same time, as part of the family business team, you always get me, in the time where I really need to disconnect, right? So because if it was for me, I could work 24 hours, and it can get into an unhealthy, situations. And I believe that, of course, not just because of that, but it was that, attraction of, bringing Diana to be part of me as my partner, to be part of me as a business. And it's automatic with the family, right? But I think that, you play a great role in balancing Roberto, for sure. Yes, of course, as a super active person in the business, and no one wants to hear, hey, you got to stop, you got to do this, you got to do that. But we don't like it, but we know it's necessary to stop. We know it's necessary to to leave the phone aside, and to pay attention to the kids. And it just again, you're not responsible for balancing me, but you play an important role on my day-to-day basis, mostly outside of the business hours. And you kind of hit on my brain and say, hey, it's time for the kids, it's time for us, it's time for all of that. And it challenged me to be a better person. And I always get to enjoy when I do listen to you.
I'm always right. I'm always right. No, I'm not. I'm not always right. But see, I think that it's been like we had a stage while working together where we, when you're starting a business, and or when in all areas of business, there are times of hustle, and there are times of more, let's say, flow. And I think, since, like you're saying, you're so passionate about growth and improvement and doing business in general, like, it's something that you enjoy to do, so that's fun for you, and that's something that you like to do and invest your time in. And that's awesome. But I think whenever we started working together, me being as intense as I am, I started also, like, getting intense into the business. And so we both got so into it and so involved into what we were doing, and, getting better and this and that, and working together. It flowed so good that we were pushing so hard. But then when we became a bigger family with our first kid, and then the second, and then the third, they pushed us, let's say it like that, to make that time to see those things, to balance out on what life is really about. Because you can have it all in a way, but there are stages in life. Like I always tell you, like, I feel that there are stages where, you need to be more focused on the business. There are stages where you need to be more focused on the kids. There are some others where you're going to be more focused on the partner. And overall, of course, you kind of like do a little bit of everything. But that's why, I feel it's so important to keep the communication open, and kind of like hear each other out, and have this, sit down and talk about what we want and what we're gonna do, and then what are our goals, and what we want for the kids, what we want for ourselves. And what has worked with me too, and I think for you too, it's like when we were discussing how we have our priorities in our minds, we were saying, so first it's going to be the business, then it's going to be the kids, then it's going to be myself, and then it's going to be my partner. And then when we saw it like that, it just didn't make sense. Like, that's not the way it's supposed to be. So we reconfigured it in a way that we try and remind each other of saying, okay, so if we want it to really work, it has to be, first, we got to be good with ourselves. So you first, me first, individually as a person. Second, then we go to us as a couple. And that was a hard one, because when you have kids, you're like, no, the kids go first. But, we've learned that it's best to do second the couple, because if we are okay, then the kids are okay, then the business, it's okay, kind of. So it all reflects. So then it's ourselves and the business, and then we can take care of the kids. So we are okay, and we can give our best versions to them together and kind of help each other out when we do. And then after that, even if it's then again hurtful or hard to say it, as a fourth, you would have the office, you would have your business. Even if you live economically from that, you need to do it that way, we've learned, I think, so that it can work on the best way possible, right?
Sure. Yeah, no, I do believe, and it is very hard to put, that system in place
I
and
know.
understand that, you need to put yourself first, and then you need to put your couple a second, and the kids and the business. It's kind of hard, Sometimes you get to be, I personally, I'm putting myself at last, because sometimes I feel I'm not that important and I can be the last. But like you said, it involves so many things, just the health, just being good, being able to wake up and give that energy to all the things that you need to be involved with, right? So leaving yourself at last, it just not sustainable in a
Exactly.
way. So as hard as it is, and say I'll be fine, I think on the short medium run, it's
It
not
doesn't
gonna
work
work.
like that.
So
Yeah.
yeah, we always try to do it that way, and I think understanding it, it plays well.
Yeah, we have to remind each other of that setup. That way we don't fall back to the other cycle. But so, as a last question, with all of what we have worked on and learned, which are your main goals, and what would be your advice to anyone who wants to be a business owner?
Well, I always, as a business owner myself, I always get like, hey, it's easy for you to say because you're a business owner, right? I mean, I think that the first way of thinking from someone that works, in a company or for someone, or, it's like, hey, well, I mean, you can do whatever because you're a business owner.
Yeah.
Well, that's not truly the way it is, because as we we're saying, we can work 24/7,
Yeah.
there's things that are happening aside of, business hours, whether it's political, whether it's economic, whether it's accidents during the road, that we ship a lot of things, and, you need to be, there, responsive. So I will never tell someone not to become a business owner. This is what I enjoy. I always try to encourage people, even though they're not asking, put your business, do your own stuff, set it up so it works for you, because that's what I enjoy and that's what I excel on. But one thing I will like to, say, it is not for everyone. You need to be able to, you know, have a set of skills to manage stress, because it's going to be all over the place. It's going to interfere with family. It's going to interfere with events. It's going to interfere with your life. So having to play that person can become challenging. Again, I wouldn't change anything to be a business owner, but I truly advise them, get ready and good luck, because it is a journey.
It's definitely a journey. It does take a profile to own a business. To start a business is one thing, because I think a lot of people can start a business. That's the enjoyable part of it. I think everything's enjoyable, but that's the smoothest. But then to keep it going and then to make it successful, it's another thing. But then to keep it successful and to keep on growing. Now, we were saying, all of what it takes to own a business or be a business owner. But then what I have fallen most in love with being a business owner, it's that it all depends on you. Like, it's your time, it's your personality, it's your skill set, it's the way you keep on learning and adding strategies to make it better or worse, honestly. Like you were saying, you can be as busy and as necessary to the business as you set it up to. So it's like we are literally working right now, and that's what I was asking about the goals, because I think right now our goals are change, right? Like they change within the years. So first you want to be all about, increasing sales and success and this and that, but then it shifts. And then you understand that time is money, and time with our kids is precious, and time with ourselves is precious. And you could still manage to run a business, investing your time wisely in the things that you choose to, and however you manage to do it. So I think the beautiful part about owning a business is that you can determine and manage to implement systems that can let you enjoy your time in a way that it works for you, because everybody has a different setup. Everybody wants their time for different things. In our case, let's say, okay, so if we want more time with our kids, we need to implement systems so that the business can run without us being as necessary.
That's that much involved. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's doable. It's not that it's not doable. The thing is, that you gotta work and think different and kind of like switch that mindset every once in a while. But it's on you. So that's the fun part. Like you can do it. You can change it. That different from a corporation that, you can do so much, but then again, you depend on so many things. So what is your main goal right now?
That's a hard one. I wasn't ready for that. As I always told my kids, and I keep forgetting it, right? But keep on reminding myself. I think the ultimate goal is to be happy. Of course, with the stress of the day-to-day activities at the business, at the office, you get to forget it again. But every time I get to an opportunity to remind them, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? And they say something, no, that's not what you want. You want to be happy. So I think that that's the ultimate goal. I think that everything else falls in place. We've worked so hard till now to be able to at least, get to manage the business so it stays, a day or hours without us. Sometimes I tell you, no, I gotta go. I have to do this. Yes, there's things, but like I said, I mean, we get so much benefits from, done what we've done so far to set up the business so we can still take our kids to a summer camp, being available to pick them up, drop them at home and go back to the office, and whenever it's necessary. Okay, well, you're not going to go back, but hey, Diana, do you mind if I take a Zoom call downstairs, get the kids, make sure they don't go, I guess that's part of it. But yeah, that's my goal is still to be where we're at, be happy, and the rest will just stay healthy.
That's the main goal, I think.
Yeah.
That's the main goal,
But
to stay healthy, to be flexible, to be ready for change, constant change, to enjoy what we have, and to, to take care of each other, and literally, like you were saying, I think the goal is to be happy with what we have and work towards what you want to accomplish in whatever it is of your area of life. So, well, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and those answering those questions. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys know a little bit more about who we are. I sometimes in the episode say Roberto. Well, he is Roberto, is my husband and my partner, and the dad of my children. And then again, I admire you so much.
I do
You
too.
have made me grown so much. We've grown so much together, and I enjoy every day. It's always interesting with you and my kids. It's never boring. It's either the business, the kids, the couple,
Well, I'm glad that
something's happening in our lives. It's always something happening. So I think that's the fun part of life. Thank you so much, and we'll be back soon.